Hello everyone. For this video, I'm going to be discussing two powerful women in history, Queen Nefertiti and Empress Theodora. We are going to talk about what they did during their time to name them as powerful women, as well as look at how differently they were depicted in their art mediums according to their respective time periods. I also showed two images of Theodora, one that is the mosaic depiction and the other that is just a more rendered version so that I was able to draw it. First up is Queen Nefertiti. She was the queen of 18th dynasty Egypt and the great royal wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten. During their reign together, they were most known for creating a religious revolution in which they worshipped one god only, Aten, or the sun disk. Nefertiti also stood on her own. There are depictions of her in tombs that show she was a queen who took action and did not simply stand by. A group of blocks that recovered from Karnak and Hermopolis Magna shows Nefertiti participating in the ritual smiting of the female enemies of Egypt while wearing her own unique headdress. By the end of Akhenaten's fifth year, Aten had become Egypt's dominant national god. This is when Nefertiti continued to play an important religious role, worshipping alongside her husband and serving as the female element in the divine triad formed by the god Aten, Akhenaten, and Nefertiti. Her sexuality, emphasized by her exaggeratedly feminine body shape and her fine linen garments, and her fertility, emphasized by the constant appearance of the six princesses, indicate that she was considered a living fertility goddess. Nefertiti was made famous by her bust created by Thutmose, which is the artwork we are looking at today. That bust was made in the Amarna style, which was a style of art created by Akhenaten during his reign. This art style was devised to represent the human body in more realistic detail. There were two sides to this style. One was where the faces were depicted with hanging jaws, pronounced facial folds, and narrow slitted eyes. The body would consist of a thin neck, sloped shoulders, a heavy paunch, large hips and thighs, and rather spindly legs. The other side depicted sublime beauty. This is the style of Nefertiti's bust was created in. She was seen as the standard of beauty for women at the time. To show that in a sculpture, her features were idealized, most likely because she was seen as the living fertility goddess. Next up is Empress Theodora, wife of the Emperor Justinian I. She was seen by scholars as probably the most powerful woman in Byzantine history. Her intelligence and political acumen made her Justinian's most trusted advisor and enabled her to use the power and influence of her office to promote religious and social policies that favored her interests. Theodora had considerable influence, and although she was never co-regent, her superior intelligence and handling of political affairs caused many to think that it was she, rather than Justinian, who ruled Byzantium. That is quite remarkable since she came from a poor background where her father was an animal keeper and she was an actress at a young age. While she ruled, she received foreign envoys and corresponded with foreign rulers, functions usually reserved for the emperor. Her influence in political affairs was very divisive, proven since her name is mentioned in nearly all of the laws passed during that period. Justinian and Theodora were known for ruling as intellectual and political equals, and she was responsible for much of the reformation of Byzantium. She is remembered as one of the first rulers to recognize the rights of women, passing strict laws to prohibit the traffic in young girls and altering the divorce laws to give greater benefits to women. Her best-known representation is the mosaic portrait in the Church of San Vitale in Ravenna, Italy. In this piece, she is holding the cup of wine for the procession of the Eucharist. In a twin mosaic, Justinian holds the cup to disperse the bread. This is just one of the many mosaics that symbolize Christ's redemption of mankind and remembrance of it through the taking of the Eucharist. This art piece is significant because it points to Theodora as a historical figure. It also testifies to her unique position in Justinian's court and is proof of the power that she held in Constantinople. The style of art itself during this time period was very stylized. You see a lot of larger eyes, elongated noses, and small lips along with the elongated figures. The aim of the art was to inspire a sense of wonder and admiration for the church. Their use of graceful floating figures and golden tesserae emphasized the otherworldliness of the religious subjects. A widespread use of mosaic art and an abstract view of reality was preferred because the importance lied on the religious imagery and significance rather than aesthetics. So in a few seconds, my video is going to cut off because it stopped recording, but I am going to show a photo at the end to show them side by side so you can compare for yourself. But that's going to be the end of my video, so I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something as well. Thank you.